How's our Orgal family? The Orgal family table? What?
Because I didn't want to.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm just going to give a quick Dvar Torah in honor of Shmuel's Bar Mitzvah week, because apparently it's not a Bar Mitzvah day anymore. We expanded it tremendously with celebrations every day. This is our pizza and sushi 2 out of 3 of sibling celebration.
The siblings on Esther's side.
Yeah.
You're going to see them in Florida.
But that's just like clarification. It's not really happening.
Yeah, that's possible. Okay. So Esther notes, and it's very famous. There's actually a famous bracha that a lot of people say when you're bar mitzvah. Does anyone know what that bracha is? It's actually a question we say on our girls. Did Uncle Ronnie say it when Ariel had her bar mitzvah? I assume his rabbi was. So it's Baruch Ronnie. Thank God that he exempted us from the Amanot, the sins of this one. It's a really, really strange phrase, right? Generally, when you have something happy, you say, yay, this is really happy. But in this situation, you actually focus on the sins. I don't know if you ever thought about this, Monty. Like, when I was a kid, this is horrible, but when I was a kid, we were always told, you probably heard this too, but I was told, like, when you're young, like, all the sins that you do happens, your father gets punished. And I'm like, I never thought this, but I always used to joke. I'm like, I killed my father. Because, I was 12, so every single one of my sins, like, got to the point. He turned 13, right before that's when he died. So like, I never thought that, but it was always in my head that.
You didn't take that seriously.
No, I didn't. But it's like always in my head. That's a weird bracha. Anyways, so it's a very famous bracha. It's probably one of the more famous brachas because it's not a real bracha. It's not a bracha that you actually say. What's the hallmark of saying bracha? You say Baruch Hashem B'Yom. And this one, very famously, the Rama says you don't say Yadkaz's name. Why? Because it only shows up as a medrash, this bracha. Most brachas show up in the Gemara. There's a famous story of Esau and Yaakov that no one can tell them the difference when they're younger. Exactly like these two twins in front of us. Identical in every way. Until finally, when they turned Bar Mitzvah in this case, and Bar Mitzvah by Esau and Yaakov, it was very clear. One went to Avodah Zarah, one went to do sins, the other one went to Best Medrash. So only when you turn 13 is it very clear for how the person is supposed to be. So the Medrash says, at that time, that person becomes an adult, and the father can now know that he's not getting. The father knows that he does not get punished anymore. So first thing, I was very excited because when I thought about this and I thought about all the horrible things that Shmuel does, I really couldn't even think of. I'm not kidding. I couldn't think of a list. Shmuel, thank God, is like literally one of the most best behaved boys I've ever encountered. When I think of my childhood and my misbehaviors, they just like there's no comparison to how Shmuel is. So even though I'm gonna hopefully say that fake bracha tomorrow, I won't mean it because I'm not really feel that I'm getting exempt from any sins because I really don't think Shmuel has really filled up my plate with sins without his life because I can't imagine a better behavior. Number 2, the bracha says, it's a really weird lashon. It says in a really weird language. It says that I'm going to be exempt from the sins of this one. Usually, you would just say exempt from the sins of my children or my boy. It's really weird to say exempt from the sins of Zeh. Can you imagine? I'm speaking about Uncle Monty and I say, this one over here, he's a good guy. It'd be really rude. I should say Uncle Monty over here. The language, the words, the diction of Zeh is very common for something that's really weird in the Torah. The Torah says that Moshe Rabbeinu was shown Zeh, the moon, a Chatzi Shekel, and a menorah. That Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know necessarily how to build those things, and God showed him these things. So a lot of times when someone else is very creative, namely God and the moon, someone who created the Chatzi Shekel, and the person who created the menorah, you can't tell someone that you're supposed to be creative. You can't tell that person, this is how you do it. All Hashem could have done is he showed Moshe Rabbeinu Zeh. So Zeh is when you're showing someone the creativity of someone else. So I thought that really applied to you also, Shmuel, because I'm exempt from the sins of this one, but also it's pointing out that this one, you can't be exempt. You can't tell someone about how you're relating to someone who's so creative. When this one, it's pointing out that you're saying, I can't put my finger on this. I can say Uncle Monty, but I can't say what it is. I say that over there. I can't describe it. It's so amazing. There's so many wondrous things. It's so much creativity. Just like if you try to describe the moon. Can you imagine all the 10,000, if you take a telescope, the 10,000 things to describe, or describe the menorah in the temple, there's so many different things it's hard to describe. So too, this bracha specifically made sure when it's talking about your son, that it's not something you describe. You can't say my son or my child. You said something that it's the thing that's next to me. Because there's no way to describe this, and I thought that really applied to you, and the creativity that you have, that you always having things from so many different angles, and this bracha was really exciting for you. So I'm excited that we're going to say that tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm getting Aliyah, because technically I got Aliyah Monday, because I'm not really sure about that one. And so we'll be excited to hear from you tomorrow. So happy Bar Mitzvah. Yay!